The council chamber of the Galactic Federation stretched across 3 kilometers of polished obsidian, its walls reaching toward a dome that displayed the swirling nebula beyond. Representatives from 47 species sat in their designated sections, each area designed to accommodate their unique physiological needs. The air shimmered with translation fields, converting thousands of different communication methods into something resembling universal understanding. High Chancellor Vextar of the Zephyrian Empire called the emergency session to order. His crystalline form caught the ambient light and scattered it in prismatic patterns across the chamber floor. The topic that had drawn them all here was unprecedented in the Federation's 12,000-year history. Fellow beings, Vextar's voice resonated through the chamber. We face a crisis that challenges everything we thought we knew about the galaxy. 3 of our outer colonies have gone silent in the past lunar cycle. Not destroyed, not conquered, simply silent. Ambassador Kelleth from a Morphic Collective raised one of her 6 arms. Her gelatinous body rippled with concern. High Chancellor, our scouts reported the same phenomenon. The colonies appear intact, but no life signs register on our sensors. It's as if every living being simply vanished. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of concerned voices, clicks, whistles, and electromagnetic pulses. Vextar waited for the noise to subside before continuing. What's more disturbing is what our deep space monitoring stations detected just before each colony went dark. Unknown energy signatures, unlike anything in our databases. From the reptilian Soros section, General Thrak hissed his skepticism. Unknown signatures could mean anything. Rogue planets, solar flares, dimensional rifts. We shouldn't panic over natural phenomena. That's what we thought initially, Vextar replied, until our analysis teams discovered something else. The energy signatures matched descriptions from our oldest archives, stories we classified as mythology long ago. A heavy silence fell over the chamber. Dr. Yila from the scholarly Etherian race floated forward, her translucent form glowing with nervous energy. Surely you don't mean the human legends? Those are children's tales, used to frighten young ones into good behavior. The archives suggest otherwise, Vextar said grimly. According to records dating back to our earliest spacefaring days, there were rumors of a species that wielded impossible technologies. A race that could appear and disappear at will, that fought with weapons that bent reality itself. They called themselves humans. Ambassador Kelleth's body shifted colors, displaying her species' equivalent of laughter. High Chancellor, with respect, those stories are clearly fabricated. A species that could challenge the laws of physics, as we understand them? Preposterous. If such beings ever existed, we would have encountered them by now. Perhaps we have, came a new voice from the chamber's entrance. The massive doors, each weighing several tons, had opened silently. Every representative turned to see who had spoken. The figure walking toward the center of the chamber was unlike anything they had ever seen. Bipedal, with pale skin and strange fur covering only the top of its head, it moved with a confidence that seemed entirely out of place for such a small being. It wore simple dark clothing that revealed nothing about its technological capabilities. Who dares interrupt a Federation Council session? General Thrak roared, his claws extending in threat display. The strange being stopped in the center of the chamber and looked around calmly. My name is Sarah Chun, and I represent the Human Colonial Defense Force. We've been monitoring your communications about the missing colonies. The chamber exploded again, this time with fear rather than confusion. Security forces from dozens of species began moving toward their weapons, but the human raised one hand in a gesture that somehow conveyed both peaceful intent and absolute confidence. Before anyone does something regrettable, Sarah said, her voice carrying clearly through the translation fields, let me explain why your colonies are empty. High Chancellor Vextar's crystalline form had lost much of its luster. Impossible. Humans are myth. Children's stories. You cannot exist. Sarah smiled, an expression that translated poorly across species, but somehow conveyed amusement. We've been watching you for quite some time, Chancellor. Your expansion into what you call the Outer Rim brought you dangerously close to our space. The colonies that went silent were establishing military bases and weapon platforms aimed directly at our territory. Our sensors showed empty space. Dr. Yila protested. No planets, no stations, nothing but void. That's because you weren't looking hard enough, Sarah replied. Or perhaps you were looking with the wrong kind of eyes. Your people have impressive technology, but you've always assumed that louder means stronger, that bigger means better. You build massive ships that announce their presence across star systems. You establish colonies that can be seen from neighboring galaxies. Very theatrical. General Thrak had fully extended his combat display, making his already impressive 3-meter frame appear even larger. What did you do to our people? Where are the colonists? They're safe, Sarah assured him. Relocated to neutral space with full life support and supplies. They'll be returned to you once we resolve this misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Ambassador Keleth's entire body had shifted to an angry orange hue. You kidnapped thousands of Federation citizens. We prevented a war, Sarah corrected. Your weapons platforms were targeting population centers. Worlds with billions of human civilians, including children. We couldn't allow that to continue. The revelation sent another wave of shock through the chamber. High Chancellor Vextar managed to regain some composure. If humans truly exist, why reveal yourselves now? Why not continue hiding? Sarah's expression grew more serious. Because hiding is no longer an option. Your expansion has accelerated dramatically in recent cycles. Within 2 standard years, your territory will completely surround our space. We'll have no choice but to defend ourselves, and trust me, you don't want to see what human defensive capabilities look like when we're backed into a corner. Dr. Yila floated closer, her scientific curiosity overcoming her fear. How many of you are there? Where are your worlds? Our deep space surveys found nothing. That's the point, Sarah said. Human technology developed along different lines than yours. Where you built bigger, we built smarter. Where you announced your presence, we learned to hide it. There are currently about 12 billion humans spread across 47 worlds, and none of them appear on any of your charts. The number sent another shock through the chamber. 12 billion individuals of an unknown species, living in complete secrecy within what the Federation considered well-explored space. General Thrak stepped forward, his military training overcoming his surprise. What are your demands? What do you want from the Federation? Coexistence, Sarah said simply. We want to establish formal diplomatic relations. We want to set clear boundaries that both our peoples can respect. And we want to share certain technologies that could benefit everyone. Share technologies? Dr. Yila's excitement was palpable. What kind of technologies? Sarah smiled again. Well, for starters, we've solved faster-than-light communication across unlimited distances. Instantaneous, no lag, no signal degradation. We've also developed medical techniques that could extend the lifespan of most of your species by several 100%. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Technologies that the Federation had been pursuing for millennia, offered freely by beings they had dismissed as myth. High Chancellor Vextar's voice was barely above a whisper. In exchange for what? Recognition, Sarah replied. A seat on your council. Representation in Federation decisions that affect our space. And, most importantly, a guarantee that Federation expansion will respect human territorial boundaries. Ambassador Keleth had returned to her natural blue coloration, indicating deep thought. How do we know you're telling the truth about any of this? How do we know this isn't some elaborate deception? Sarah reached in her pocket and withdrew a small device, no larger than her palm. This is a standard human communicator. It's connected to our fleet command, which is currently positioned just outside your sensor range. Would you like a demonstration of our capabilities? Before anyone could respond, she activated the device. The chamber's lights dimmed momentarily, and then every screen, display, and information panel in the building began showing the same image. a view of the Federation capital world from space. But it wasn't a view from any known satellite or station. The perspective was moving, rotating around the planet in real time, showing details that should have been impossible to capture. As they watched, the view zoomed in to show the council chamber itself from the outside, then shifted to display the interior where they all sat. "We've been watching and learning for a very long time," Sarah said as the displays returned to normal. "We know your languages, your customs, your military capabilities, and your technological limitations. We know about the Soros rebellion in the Outer Territories, the Morphic Collective's resource shortages, and the Etherian research into dimensional physics. We know because we've been here all along, moving among you, learning from you." The revelation that humans have been infiltrating Federation society for unknown periods of time sent a chill through every representative present. How long had they been watching? How many human agents were currently in Federation space? General Thrax's combat display had retracted, replaced by what his species showed when faced with a superior force. "What guarantee do we have